Hi and welcome to me sharing how my bike trip around Europe is going. I want to meet as many Christians from as many different backgrounds and just share that with you. And if you don't remember, the week before I got sick right in the beginning of my trip, so I wasn't feeling too well. And to be honest, like this week that I'm sharing with you now, it was kind of hard for me to edit because I was at so many low points and I was honestly questioning whether I can actually do this. But then I had so many highlights too. For example, I got to interview the awesome actor and author Koch. I went to the Holy Spirit night in Stuttgart. I saw two really good friends of mine, and I also went to a place who I was actually not really planning on filming. I was just gonna stay with my friend there who lives there. But it was so cool, I just had to film it. It kind of felt like the Christian Protestant theology version of Hogwarts, so I really can't wait to share everything that happened this week with you. There was a pretty bad weather prediction for the next day with gusts of wind of up to 60 kilometers per hour. So I got ready for bad weather and I started biking. I don't know if you can tell, but it's very, very windy. The wind is coming all from the front or this side, but mainly from the front. So even when I go down, it feels like I'm going up, and there are a lot of parts that I have to go like really steep up. The wind is trying to blow me away, but I'm going.
3 hours later.
I felt so defeated that night, so I just decided to skip the stop that I had planned for that day and just go straight to my next stop, where a friend of mine lives in Tübingen. My friend Nadja, she lives there and she hosted me, and I was so glad that I did that because it was the best decision. I really needed a friend that night and she was so sweet, so yeah, it was really good to see her. And then the next day, I just decided to tour the place and to take you with me because it's a really interesting place.
My name is Nadja and I'm living at the so-called Evangelisches Stift in Tübingen. It's a place where students live. We live there for free, we get food, and we have counselors who help us in our studies. So we can go there and get help when we're stuck. We get advice how to study well, and we have a lot of resources like a library and various other stuff to help us study as good as possible. For me personally, since I joined this scholarship later in my studies, being able to focus on my exams without worrying about housing or cooking and all this stuff was a really big help and a game changer.
This scholarship was created in 1536, so there's so many things you can discover there. One thing that I thought was really cool was the old library cards that they used before everything was digitalized.
So this is the door to the small room where you were locked in if you didn't behave well, and this is where they gave you food or drinks when you were inside. Now let's have a look at what this room looks like. Here it is, and as you can see, it's not that big, but well, they say people were caught in here for several days sometimes. Luckily, we don't end up here anymore nowadays.
Here I am in the backyard of this beautiful house. It is just as beautiful as the house. There is a river right on this property. You can get some boats in the summertime to go on the river. And all the students come out here in the summertime and to study and hang out. And I have to say, I'm quite jealous. This is a very nice place to study. I'm about to leave Tübingen and I'm really excited because Nadja, who was hosting me, decided to come with me to Stuttgart. I look like a mushroom. But I have to say, I'm so impressed by Nadja. She has her backpack on her back and she has quite an old bike and she's doing so well. Like, I honestly would have given up like 10 times already. We couldn't find a bakery, so it's now a croissant from the gas station.
And a chocolate bar.
In the last part it rained, but we made it! My good friend Yasmin also joined us, and it was actually her birthday the next day, which made it even more special. We visited a big Christian event called Holy Spirit Night, and afterwards Tim, who you will meet again in a later video, was so nice to give us a ride to an awesome event called Sick of Pretending. We're on our way right now to the next event where I'm going to tell a little bit about what I'm doing. I'm really excited. I felt incredibly honored to be able to share a little bit about my project, and there were so many great artists there. This is an amazing project that I will link down below. The next day I took a train to Mannheim because it was just much faster, and I knew that I wasn't going to keep my schedule that I planned for if I biked. Unfortunately, I told my Airbnb host here in Mannheim the wrong time that I was going to arrive, so that means I have to kill 4 hours, but it's sunny, so I'm kind of glad that I get to take a break and I can't edit. So unfortunately, the sun went away and I had to wait for about 3 hours when it was pretty cold. But now I got inside. The host is really nice. The room is very nice, and I already spent so much money on trains in the last week, like way much more than I thought I would. But I don't know, I just need something nice to eat right now. So I'm gonna get one of my favorite foods from a restaurant I really like, which I saw is also somewhere around here. I need some little good moments like that. Started the day in a good mood, but so I'm having problems with my camera again. It's a little complicated, but all in all, I'm just not going to be able to use it today, which is very frustrating. I knew that there would be challenges, but it feels like honestly every day there's something else. And I feel really drained. So I just went to a store, they couldn't help me. And I have just decided that maybe this is going to be a blessing in disguise. My only solution is that I have to do this on the phone, which is not ideal. But maybe I don't have to carry around all this heavy camera equipment. So I'm just going to do it like this now. I don't have any other choice. I was so frustrated that day because I had been working with this filming equipment that just kind of was always giving me problems for many years, and it just started giving me problems when I started this trip. So yeah, it was just this whole thing, and honestly there is one video where I was just so emotional and I couldn't put it in because it was too personal for me. But yeah, I was really frustrated that day, but I have to say Samuel made it so much easier for me because he was so nice about it, even though I just taped my GoPro to the tripod that I have for my camera, so it really wasn't a very professional look. So thank you so much, Samuel, for being so nice about it. And I have to say, I still really like how it ended up. I am here right now with a very special guest, Samuel Koch, and and he's going to tell me a little bit about his work and the church of his where we at right now, and I'm really excited.
I'm Samuel Koch, and I'm here in the funny town of Schriesheim, which is near Heidelberg in Mannheim, where I live and where I work as an actor, and I also am allowed to work as an author and sometimes as a speaker, but not in English. My job is to do a show on the stage in front of the camera, and so for me it's nice that I do not have a show on Sunday, that the Sunday is pure and there are no showmasters in front. It's just servants and just serving. Maybe that's also one reason why I'd like to be here, but when I'm in Berlin or Hamburg or in Munich, I really love all the differences between the churches, and I like to go in loud and noisy churches. Also, in the same way, I like to go in totally silent Benedictine monastery services. I travel a lot, and I really like to travel. I think I was in every small village, in every city in whole Germany. That isn't a lie. I think it's true. Unfortunately, no, I know this country really well, and what I'm suffering most is when I'm in this part of the country and the Christians are talking not nice of the other Christians, and then I'm in the other part of the country and they are talking not nice of the Catholics, and this Catholic part is not talking nice of this baptizing the church and this and that makes me feel sad, and because I have more or less loved through every one of all these people, and that's the reason why I also really like and love and will want to support your travel, because what's the English word, unity? That's something I wish so hard for the Christians. I really like one of the sentences of the one of the church founders, Augustinus, saying essentially unity, endowed freedom, and in everything love. And I think when the Christians would take this by heart, we could be so strong and could make much more a difference in the world. One of the greatest instruments we got from Jesus is the instrument of forgiveness. He really teaches it and he lives it, and so why we don't use it? It's hard, I know. It's hard to use it again and again and again, but we are humans and we are doing mistakes and we are not perfect, so we need forgiveness every day, again and again.
That was this week's recap, and now stop before you want to end this video. I just want to say it would mean the world to me if you could comment, like, and maybe even share this video with people who you think could be interested in it. You can really support me in my project just by doing these things, and it honestly just warms my heart reading all of your comments. This is exactly what I want to do with this project, to just connect us and to start conversations. So thank you so much if you have done that in the past for the other videos. You can go back and watch them if you don't know them yet. And thank you so much for also commenting under this one and liking it. And I will see you next Thursday for the next video.